Want to get into e-commerce and thinking about dropshipping? Before you do, you might want to watch this video. So before we get started, I just want to differentiate between what dropshipping is and what e-commerce is. So dropshipping is basically a method whereby as a founder or as a business owner, you have your product fulfilled by your factory. So your product is fulfilled by the manufacturer. It is sent directly from the manufacturer. Say you're manufacturing dog beds. Your dog bed will be made by the factory, say it's in China, and they will be sent directly from that factory in China to your customer. E-commerce, and with e-commerce brands, with my brands that are in e-com, I've never actually personally done dropshipping myself, but I speak to a lot of dropshippers all the time. With e-com, you hold your own product. So say the minimum order quantity for your dog bed brand is 500 dog beds. You will buy those 500 dog beds off the manufacturer. You can custom brand them. They're then sent to a warehouse in your country of choice. I'm Australia based, so let's say they're sent to our warehouse in Melbourne, Australia. We then have our 500 dog beds in stock in Melbourne, Australia. So if a customer in Sydney orders one, they can get it the next day, rather than it being sent out from China, having Chinese branding and shipping labels all over it, not having that sort of like brand experience that you're able to create with e-com. So basically that's the difference between e-commerce and dropshipping. Dropshipping, the manufacturer or the factory sends it out for you. The upside of that is that you don't have to buy the initial 500 units. You could sell 500 units and they're just sent directly from the manufacturer. And e-commerce, you buy those 500 units, they come to you physically and you physically send them back out to your customer yourself. So I guess, yeah, that's one of the upsides of dropshipping, that is that you don't have to hold your own stock. One of the downsides and one of the massive downsides of dropshipping is that factories, especially factories or manufacturers that you haven't been to physically yourself, aren't always the most reliable companies. A lot of dropshippers start out with the best intentions, being like, okay, I'll do this, I don't have to buy stock. It's great, it's a really cheap, easy way to get into, the online business space, and they sell a bunch of products and those products actually never even turn up to the customer. And the issue with that as well, outside of obviously it's a terrible customer experience for your brand, there's not going to be any repeat purchases because they didn't even receive their product in the first place. The other issue is that this has created like a really bad reputation for dropshippers on a lot of the big marketing channels like Facebook. So Facebook has a lot of policies now in place set up to not allow dropshippers or new dropshippers to the market to be able to scale their brands without knowing that that brand is, a legitimate business. So kind of when you start a business and when you start a Facebook account, Facebook's gathering all this data about you. And Facebook is gathering data like how happy your customers are, how quickly they're receiving their products. They send out those little surveys. I don't know if as a customer you've ever shopped via a Facebook ad, but usually like a couple of weeks after you shop, you get like a little survey that pops up saying like, were you happy with your e-commerce purchase from that dog bed brand? And then you say like yes or no, did it arrive in time? Was the product any good quality? Etc., etc. So basically, if Facebook doesn't start to get like positive feedback from you, it will slowly but surely decrease the returns or results of your ads. So it will limit the amount of sales that you're able to make on Facebook. And that's basically the same across the board. So Facebook isn't necessarily helping the dropshipping space as a whole. Shopify doesn't love dropshipping. Customers as a whole don't really love dropshipping either. You can imagine the reason why Facebook don't like it is because Facebook sell ads and their number one revenue stream is through selling ads. If a customer buys off a Facebook ad and doesn't receive their product, that's a negative experience with Facebook and a negative experience with shopping with Facebook. So then people will be less likely to buy off Facebook ads, which will mean that customers will be less likely to shop from Facebook in general, which means that Facebook will receive less revenue from brands. So Facebook's really cracking down on dropshipping as a whole, which is ultimately going to hurt you as a brand. So we'll get back to the video in a sec, but obviously all of this content is free. So if you're enjoying this video, please let us know by hitting the like button or the subscribe button below, and stick around to the end of the video for an exclusive invite. So obviously the reason you're probably watching this video is that you think you can make a bunch of money dropshipping, and yes, that may be true in the short term. I do know a lot of dropshippers that are making a lot of money, but the thing is that with e-commerce, and I guess the difference again between e-commerce and dropshipping is that in e-commerce, you still make a lot of money while you're running your brand, but at the end of the day, you have an asset that is saleable, and that is your brand or your business. In dropshipping stores do not sell either at all or for the multiples that e-commerce brands can sell for. Some e-com brands can sell for like 5 times revenue. So if you're doing $5 million in a year, you might be able to sell your brand for $25 million one day as well, if you've built a really, really strong foundation there. So while you might be making $5 million drop shipping, or you might be making $5 million with e-commerce, at the end of the day, with drop shipping, you might be able to sell your brand for maybe half your revenue. If you're lucky, maybe like 2 times your profits, for example. Let's say you're on a 10% profit margin, even that's very low. My brands are generally like 20 to 30%. But if you're on a 10% profit margin, you're making $5 million in a year, you're taking home $500,000 in a year, every year, which is great. And that's the case with dropshipping. It's the case with e-commerce. They're the same in that way. But when you go to sell your brand, you're going to get such a limited valuation off the back of your dropshipping business compared to e-commerce. So in e-com, you're basically building an asset that you can one day sell at a pretty crazy multiple. So that brings us to the end of this video, and if you're still thinking about dropshipping, that is completely fine. What I do urge you to do first before that is to head across and watch this free e-commerce training, see what you think around the 2 different techniques, come from, I guess, a place of knowledge and understanding. Before moving forward, I'm going to just show you my exact process that I've used to start multiple multi-million-dollar e-commerce brands, and then you can make that choice for yourself.
Hey guys, hope you're loving our videos and that you're getting heaps of value from them. If you are, make sure to hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to join the Foundr fam. If you did enjoy this video and want to continue to master your skills, make sure you click here to access your free training now, where we'll go into way more depth with this founder.